Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam.
First of all, I want to thank our Creator, Allah Subhanahu wa Taala, who has given us His continuous blessings and mercy, and also all the trials that have made us better people. Salawat and salam to our Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Without him, we would be blessed with Allah's most special gift, which is Iman. In this special occasion, I will be presenting my presentation, which is about a very special person called Abdullah ibn Maktum. But before that, I want to thank my teachers and my friends who have given me this opportunity to present my presentation today. And I want to introduce myself again. My name is Kayyisa Karin, and I am from 10 RPL. Okay, without further ado, let's get into this presentation. I'm sure you're wondering, who is Abdullah ibn Maktum? Well, Abdullah ibn Maktum is actually one of the Prophet's most trusted companions. And maybe you don't know about him, but after this, you'll know so much. Now, let's get into his background. His most special and the trait that made his story so inspiring is that he was born blind. Now, his mother's name was Atika bint Abdullah, or named Maktum. This was named by their own tribe, the Quraysh tribe. And its symbolism is mother of the concealed or blind one. This is because being blind at that time of age was considered like a weakness. And then his father's name was Qais ibn Zaidah from the Quran. Yeah. His family protected him, but he lived with a sense of dependence that pre-Islamic Arab society often considered shameful or pitiable. This means that even before Islam came into Arab, that he was independent, and also even though he was blind, and this wasn't the time where Islam came in, he was independent and confident. Now, let's talk about Islam though. He was actually one of the first people to convert to Islam, even though he isn't famous for it, like maybe his cousin Khadijah, which is actually Nabi Muhammad's first wife. He's actually the cousin of her. What I meant is like that. According to early narrations, he would frequently visit the Prophet to memorize newly revealed verses. This means that even if he was blind, he still didn't give up his courage and and how he wanted to study Islam. He was very diligent and spiritually perceptive. Now, there's actually a surah in the Quran talking about Abdullah ibn Maktum. This is in Surah Al-Baqarah 82 from 1 to 10. Let me read the transcriptions. He frowned and turned away, because there came to him the blind man. But one could tell you that perhaps that he might be purified, or be reminded, and the remembrance would benefit him. Now, I'm gonna give you a little backstory about this particular surah. So, Nabi Muhammad was talking to a very important person from the Quraysh tribe, and he was kafir. So, he wanted to convert this important man from the Quraysh tribe, hoping that with his power from the Quraysh tribe, that he would also influence others to also convert to Islam. Now, he was in this really deep and really important talk, and then suddenly, Abdullah ibn Maktum came to Prophet Muhammad to ask if there is any newly revealed surah in the Quran. And then it's explained here, he frowned and turned away. So Nabi Muhammad was frustrated because why would you suddenly interrupt a very important conversation? But Allah here reminds him that he shouldn't frown upon the physically disabled ones. So in this surah, it just tells us that in this specific ayat, it just tells like a story about that, and also that we don't value less of people that are physically disabled, just like Abdullah ibn Maktum. So let's talk a little bit about his role in Islam. He was actually really gentle in speech and respected for his akhlaq, or his character. He teaches the blind and the people who want to memorize Quran. So not only does he want to study himself about the Quran, he also teaches the people who are also physically disabled and the people who also want to memorize. When the Prophet left Medina, he would leave Abdullah ibn Maktum with Bilal bin Rabah in charge of prayers and was also one of the muadhdins. What is the muadhdins? It's actually the ones who are the ones who invite people to pray. So like azan. So in that time, this role of being a muadhdin was actually really important. Not just everyone could invite people to pray. So the ones who would be the one who are muadhdins were Maktum and Bilal bin Rabah. And we're gonna talk about the Battle of Kayyisa. This might not feel like it's important, but it's actually one of the battles that Abdullah ibn Maktum he died in this battle. Now let's get a little backstory of the Battle of Al-Qadisiyah. The Battle of Al-Qadisiyah was a battle between Muslim and Sasanian Persian forces that took place in 636 AD or 14 Hijriah in Iraq to end Persian oppression in Iraq and opened the way for Islam's governance after years of persecution of Arab tribes under Persian rule. Abdullah ibn Maktum persisted he took part in it even if he was blind. So what did Abdullah ibn Maktum do in this specific battle? So in this battle, he was actually like 60 years old. He was already old, and he was already old and really intelligent. So everyone else already told him like, no, you don't have to go into the battle. You're already old, but he wanted to, and he took the most important role of the battle. That is holding the flag of Islam. Now, not everyone can just hold the flag of Islam because if someone cowardly would hold the flag of Islam, then everyone else would be discouraged to continue that battle because who would want to see a cowardly person holding the flag of Islam? That's why Abdullah ibn Maktum was the one who held that flag, and he would tell the others that I could not run from anywhere. So you will see the flag of Islam waving proudly in the middle of battle at all times. Now, in this battle, he died, but he died courageously, and he died while still holding the flag tightly onto his body, still representing that he still loves Islam, even if he was physically disabled, even if the people said that he couldn't, but he did. Now, let's see what his contributions were. This is when it was the battle. He said that, let me go with you. I am blind, but I wish to hold the banner of Islam. I will not flee, for I cannot see where to flee. That's one of his quotes. Now, he was given the banner, and his name was Liwa. And when the battle ended, the soldiers found him lying among the martyrs, still holding the flag close to his chest. He had perseverance, he was a proof of equality in Islam, and he died in Allah's journey and showed his courage. MashaAllah. And I wanted to quote one of Nabi Muhammad has said about this about him like this: a man whose blindness never blinded his heart. So even if he was blind and he couldn't see the world, he never let that blind his heart. So what can we take from his story? Faith and dignity despite disability. So he still believed in Islam, and he still had dignity despite that he was blind, and that was considered as a weakness in that time. True equality is shown to the sincere. So being blind is just a trial. It's not something that you should be think that it's weak, because it's not. Because Allah will give true equality. Because Abdullah ibn Maktum has been an example that if you are sincere, you will be given true quality. And by that, he was also given respect by all his peers and even Nabi Muhammad himself. He also had really great perseverance. And I don't know where I've got this from, but I think it's very good to think about it. Even when the world turns away, Allah turns towards you. So even if the world, in this situation, even when Abdullah ibn Maktum was considered weak because he was blind, Allah still turns towards you. And that's all from me. Thank you so much for listening to my presentation. I apologize for my mistakes, and I hope you can take. I hope it has enlightened you all. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.